Hey, it doesn't matter if your team doesn't even score. You can still be a winner. Play Gun Lake online casino and sportsbook app. It is the Bet Parks and only app that I recommend, Bet Parks related, in Michigan. Michiganders enjoying big-time college football. Detroit hockey is back. Detroit pro football is on a roll. Sunday, Detroit a 2-point underdog at undefeated Minnesota. That'll be a good one. The over-under is 49 points. Philadelphia, a 3.5 favorite at MetLife Stadium to play New York Big Blue. You know who I'm talking about. Bet more than just the score. Bet all the player performances. The one and only sportsbook app that I recommend in Michigan is Play Gun Lake. New users get some skin of the game. $1,000 bonus back. It's got to be wagered. That's for new users only. And by the way, during the timeouts, play some live blackjack, craps, or roulette. You'll have some fun and have some skin in the game at the same time. PlayGunLake.com. PlayGunLake.com for all the details. Got to be 21. And in Michigan, gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. Time now for headlines from the Thursday edition of the Smerconish.com daily newsletter. Poll results from yesterday. The question, will Kamala Harris's interview on Fox News be good or bad for her campaign? More than 30,000 voted when all was said and done. And you can see the margin if you're watching on YouTube. 82.67% had the correct answer and said it would be good for her campaign. Our lead item today in the newsletter is the full interview. Our number one link, you can watch the full interview. As I mentioned previously, when I landed last night from Los Angeles without any internet access and having not seen or heard any spin, the first thing that I did was I just watched it. And as I've been saying, what I think is that she had a very strong performance. There's not a single negative takeaway. There's not a gotcha moment. There's plenty of spinning going on. Yes, I know what Donald Trump said in response to it, but I think she had a good night. And I think that the back and forth was to her advantage, because I think for anybody open-minded, it dispelled ideas that she just wasn't capable of having that kind of give and take. It also, I mean, Brett Baier is one extreme in terms of 20 seconds in, interrupting her and being very aggressive. But his level of aggressiveness, I think, highlighted just how soft the other interviews have been and just how much filibustering she's been able to get away with. But the net effect of all of this, to her advantage. Absolutely to her advantage in terms of the interview. A Rorschach test for sure. I've heard what they've said on Fox now. I've gone back and I've reviewed all the spin and the things that have been said about it. But I just think that the honest assessment is it was a good night for Kamala Harris. She's now up by 5 in a brand new Marist survey. We have the Marist poll linked in the newsletter today. This is significant for the following reason, which you've heard me say before. She needs to be in comparison to Hillary Clinton's performance in 2016 and Joe Biden's performance in 2020. I'm going to update these numbers because I keep coming back to them. Today is now the 17th, so this is a week old. But as of the 10th of October of 2016, Hillary was up 6. As of the 10th of October of 2020, Joe Biden was up 10. Where did Hillary end up? +2, lost in the Electoral College. Where did Biden end up? +4. That's why I've been saying two things. Number one, there could be a baked-in, hidden Trump vote. But more importantly, for these purposes, Harris needs to be closer to Biden than she is to Hillary. 4 points seems to be that threshold. It's kind of a tell as to how you're doing in the Electoral College. Well, if Marist is accurate and she's up 5, she's in a pretty good position. A better position than she has been. Today's poll question at Smerconish.com. I saw the early results. I'm sure it's going to be very lopsided. That doesn't mean it's a bad question. Should we take Trump's extreme rhetoric on the campaign trail literally? There was a story that I quoted from when I was in California yesterday. It was from the electronic version of the New York Times. Today, it's the print edition of the New York Times. Let me just share with you the lead. With 3 weeks left before Election Day, former President Donald J. Trump is pushing to the forefront of his campaign a menacing political threat that he would use the power of the presidency to crush those who disagree with him. In a Fox News interview on Sunday, Trump framed Democrats as pernicious, as an enemy from within that would cause chaos on election day that he speculated the National Guard might need to handle. That exchange came up in the interview between Bret Baier and Kamala Harris last night. That's the one where she said, hey, you didn't play the clip. You only played his later explanation of it. Anyway, his words getting increasingly dark, subject that Jonah Goldberg discusses on today's program. And then there is that other story I quoted from yesterday where at the Detroit Economic Club, there are people there who are aware of all these things that he has said, and yet they say, right, but he's good for the economy, and he doesn't really mean those things. That's why today's poll question asks whether the extreme rhetoric needs to be taken literally. Go vote at Smerconish.com. TC, Jimmy Carter made it.
He made it. How about that?
100 years old, cast his ballot for Kamala Harris.
Wow. I keep thinking that we're going to get some news about him and celebrate his life sometime soon, but it really is remarkable. So that I thought
I think it's now 3 years since Catherine said to me on a Friday, hey,
this could be it.
You got to be ready tomorrow. We hope not, but right. Jimmy Carter might pass.
Might pass.
Yeah.
Right.
So it has not happened. A little fashion news.
Oh, Michael. First of all,
go ahead. You explain, please.
The Kelce brothers podcast is so appealing. They obviously, well, maybe not obviously if you don't know this, but they have incredible chemistry. They go back and forth. They're on video too, which is amusing, and they show clips. So what went over this time is Jason Kelce teasing Travis Kelce about a shirt he wore out on a date with Taylor Swift in New York City. And oh my gosh, Michael, this shirt.
Randy is showing it.
Okay, so there it is. Retails for $495.
The Kama Sutra shirt.
It does look like Kama Sutra, featuring a large horse rearing up on its hind legs and several faceless people scattered around the scene, at least two of which appear to be caught in an intimate position.
Okay, there's no question what's going on there, right? We're showing it.
No.
We're showing it.
I'm with Jason. Travis is like, no, dude. And he's like, Jason is like, those people are, and then just drops it, right? I mean, right. There's no,
right.
It is the funniest exchange you've ever seen.
$495.
Yes, I said that.
$490.
Right.
The blue,
Jaquemus?
How do you say it?
I don't know.
Jaquemus button down that Travis wore on his New York City double date with girlfriend Taylor Swift and their friends Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. I assume I'm supposed to know who Ryan Reynolds
supposed to know
and Blake Lively are.
Blake Lively are. They're a fabulous couple. And then Jason reads aloud
go ahead.
The description from GQ and then says it's a fancy way of saying it's a button down with horses and people effing on it. And it is, honest to God, the funniest thing. And Travis is like, no, I just like the colors and the pattern. It's art. How did you get that out of it? And they're like, I mean, truly. And they go back and forth. It's just, they're just sitting next to each other, says Travis. No.
I am sure they are sold out. Right? I'm sure you can't get that shirt now.
I was about to say.
Look good on you, Dan. It would look good on you.
No, I was about to say, TC, I think we found Michael's Christmas present.
Seriously.
Fine, get it for me.
Seriously.
It's either that or
please.
or the yellow sweater he wore in the Mark Halperin interview on YouTube.
Oh, that's getting a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Why?
What color is that exactly?
Come on, Michael.
You don't like that sweater?
It's not that I don't like it.
TC.
I'm not weighing in on it.
TC.
All I'm saying is everyone was like, Michael in his LA style. Like, not only.
I bought that sweater where you walked recently across the pond.
Dan, great point, though, because not only was that YouTube, like the fancy
and nobody's
LA
effing on my sweater, by the way.
With the lights. So you had the lights and then the sweater.
Yeah.
Got a lot of attention.
Yeah, I loved that we recorded that yesterday. That, first of all, Sirius XM in West Hollywood is a fabulous place. You guys have to go visit that, see what it's all about. They've got multiple studios.
Travel squad.
They have multiple studios, and they're all wired, and it's just a very neat, hip environment.
I mean, well, look at the YouTube. It looks.
There's something I need to do when I can catch my breath, having come back from this trip, and that is I want to look up and study the.
When is that going to happen?
In a few weeks, the record plant, because the Sirius XM studio, and I'm not giving tales away, emblazoned on the side of the building is Sirius XM.
Okay.
When you turn off of Santa Monica Boulevard to go to the studio, you immediately pass a big building on the left-hand side, which says the Record Plant. And the Record Plant is a legendary music recording studio. I want to say that Led Zeppelin did a lot of their classic stuff there.
And it's still in use?
Yes, but I need to know, that's what I want to know more about.
Oh yeah, you got to go get a tour.
And when I was driving into the studio yesterday at like 4 a.m., lights were on and this large set of double doors was open on the second floor. I'm like, geez, I wonder who's in there recording.
It was an all-nighter.
Could be.
I think that's what it was. They were finishing up as you were going to work.
Yeah. But the point is, SiriusXM has great cameras, as we now do in our studio here. Thank you, Creative Outfit and PJ and Randy and Aleko and the team, Alex. But we decided, hey, let's record that interview with Mark Halpern. I did not know that. Hey, you know what else? Wait, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you guys something.
What?
And Randy, I don't know if you have the ability to dip into Instagram. If you can do this on the fly, do it. So yesterday, I did the radio program from SiriusXM in Los Angeles, and then I engaged in Mr. Toad's wild ride after a speech to get to LAX to fly to Newark to get home.
Was it the weird car?
Oh my God! No, that's another story.
What was
that's
that?
Another story.
What was that?
Okay, now I have two things that I want to tell you.
Instagram, big.
Instagram. Number one is, thank you. I left the studio yesterday. I left SiriusXM yesterday, and I'm driving on Santa Monica Boulevard in the right lane where it's four lanes, two each way.
Okay.
A vehicle pulled up beside me.
What was that?
Like a horseless, driver. There was nobody behind the wheel. Okay, and I'm a Tesla guy. I don't mean like someone was on autopilot.
No, there was no
there it
one
is.
there.
He's showing it.
Yeah.
He's showing. Are you going to be able to show that for YouTube? There's no one in the vehicle.
Right. So
I don't know.
Was
it says
like a robotic.
It says yes. It says, what does it say on the side of it? There it is. Now we're showing it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So there. Look at that. There's no one in that vehicle.
So what's the deal?
I don't know. What does it say on the side? Waymo. Have you ever seen anything like this?
In the back?
Yeah, it's one of the driverless cars. I mean, a few cities are starting to get these things.
Well, I've never seen one before.
Do you think someone's in the back of it?
I don't think so, TC. I don't think so.
Why not?
Yeah, it's like an Uber without a driver.
I think someone's in the back.
No. Randy, can you tell? Is there anybody?
You can't tell because the back windows are tinted. That you don't like the tinted windows.
That's what I told you.
So you
think there's somebody? Why would somebody be in the back?
Why would the car be empty?
Why? Wait. Why, if you're a fail-safe, why not just sit shotgun? Why would you sit in the back?
You're not
because you're being driven.
You're a passenger.
You think there was somebody in there, like for paying for hire?
Yes.
That already exists
in LA.
Can you look up Waymo? Just see what Waymo says. Is that the craziest thing?
Yes.
Okay, and wait, here comes story number 2. Randy, look at that billboard.
Waymo self-driving cars and ride-hail service. Safe and easy for people and things to get around with autonomous vehicles.
But TC, it's already in practice?
If I knew that, Waymo.com, you can see that.
If I knew that,
car.
I would have Waymo'd to the studio yesterday.
No.
Yeah, just to see what it's all about.
Live in LA County or Austin. LA County and Austin, Texas.
They already have it.
Already have it.
I had no idea.
Available 24/7, operating in multiple cities.
I had no idea.
San Francisco, Phoenix, LA, and Austin.
Oh my God! I have got
Breaking news.
I have got to try that out. Damn. Okay. Now here's something else. So now I'm going to LAX.
You had quite a ride.
I'm going to LAX and I'm being driven, and all of a sudden I look up and look at that.
You must have died.
There's a billboard with me on it outside of LAX.
Literally must have died when you saw that.
That's the boys at Radioactive Media. I knew there was a billboard campaign in Southern California. I did not know. It's not as if I said to the driver,
drive by here so I can see it.
No, here's what I said to the driver. Step on it.
Get me there.
Yeah. I had no idea. And all of a sudden we're at a red light and I look up and I said, well, I'm like fumbling for my phone. Look, that's me. Is that the funniest thing in the world? The Pollock brothers. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hysterical, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, my LA stories.
Your
anyway,
LA stories.
Back to the people, effing on the shirts. What else did we want to make sure that we? All right, I'll tell you one more. While I was there yesterday, the Menendez brothers.
Oh.
There was a presser, nearly 24 relatives of Lyle and Eric Menendez. Have either of you watched either of the Menendez documentaries?
I've only seen clips.
You're not interested?
I am. It's not that I'm not interested. There's a lot out there.
Dan, have you taken an interest, watched any of these?
Which one have you watched?
Both.
Okay, and
I've watched both.
is it like the Lacey Peterson one, that one is
Yeah,
more
totally.
Okay, that's
Totally.
so interesting. So when having watched both of them,
Right.
and using your detective sense, which I know you have, and having visited the home, which you said you did, what is your conclusion?
Well, I drove by the act. I think that they were abused. I think that they were abused, and I think that if they were girls, they would long ago have been let out of jail if they had gone to jail.
Yikes.
So, but you're right that years ago, I didn't do it on this trip, but years ago, I remember driving by the house out of curiosity. And I have a little bit of background from Architectural Digest on the house in terms of what has become of it and what's the value of it.
Oh.
So Jose Melendez, the father, bought the house for $4 million.
Wait, is that his name?
Yeah.
You just said Jose Melendez. You're thinking
Menendez.
Jose Melendez.
Menendez.
Okay.
Jose Menendez bought the home for $4 million in 1988. Okay, a lot of scratch in 1988,
That is a lot.
right?
Yeah.
So after the double murder, the house kind of languishes on the market. They can't sell it. No surprise there. We've had this conversation
Would
before.
you?
Would you ever buy a house?
I would, but I would get every religious entity that I could possibly have in there, just giving it good juju and praising it and blessing it.
Okay, well,
Sage burning.
It sold. It
priests.
sold in March of this year for $17 million.
Oh, well, there you go. Someone
For
wanted it.
$17 million, and now apparently is being completely renovated and going through a tremendous amount.
Wow.
Yeah, in terms of an upgrade.
That is incredible.
In terms of an upgrade, and sad news.
Oh my God!
Terrible
What
news.
happened?
I'm afraid to know what
Me
happened
too, because some accounts say fall and some accounts do not say fall, and then that breaks my heart either way.
Buenos Aires is the dateline. Former One Direction singer Liam Payne was found dead outside a hotel in Buenos Aires after the 31-year-old fell from his third-floor room balcony, according to Argentine police. In a statement, the Capitol Police said that they were called to the hotel in the capital's leafy Palermo neighborhood when they were notified of an aggressive man who could be under the effects of drugs and alcohol. The hotel manager said that he heard a loud noise at the back of the hotel, and when police arrived, they found that a man had fallen over the balcony in his room. Yeah, just a sad.
It's a terrible story. It is an absolutely terrible story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We got all the news.
we got all the news. You managed to still keep the newsletter running, even though you were 3 hours ahead of us. It's been
it's kind of funny.
It's been
Look,
quite
you
a
were-
week already.
You were overseas. You were overseas in London recently.
Correct.
I think I'm at liberty to say that.
No. We said it.
Oh, did we? Okay, good. So you know what it's like where when you're there, it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing about being in Los Angeles because there comes a point in the day when everything is nice and quiet and you're still functioning.
Right. But in London, I feel ahead. Do you feel behind?
But to wake up,
Right.
to wake up in California
up.
is to be overwhelmed. Like, oh my God,
Right.
look at all these emails
Right.
and texts. So there's a trade-off to it.
Yeah,
There's
for
a trade-off
sure.
to it. Anyway,
For
love
sure.
being there. Nice to be home. Nice to be home as
We're
well.
glad you're back.
Still wondering, could I live there? Still wondering.
town.
Every time I come home, I wonder that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. See ya.